It rained a little at 3, and I know because I had gotten up and gone to pee right before then, and it rained some like around 5, and it's 8 o'clock now. I'm just getting things packed up. Things are damp, but it was not a pouring rain. It was very kind of almost drizzly. These new food bags that I've got, they're not designed to handle boiling water, and they don't last that long. Again, I'll talk about that in the gear video after the hike. But yeah, it's a late start. If you have never laid in your sleeping bag or under a quilt, warm and dry in a tent, whenever it was cold and wet and drizzly outside, I highly recommend it. It's a wonderful feeling. Campsite was down there. And it is quiet, like everything's just waiting for rain to start. Going up that way. The tent, by the time I was putting it up, was only wet on one corner, the one farthest away from the tree. And even the trail isn't that damp. Another thing is that thermometer says it's 50 degrees, so it's fairly cool. Coming from that way, and it's not raining, but over here everything's wet, and so I'm getting wet. Coming from there, and it's a misty view, but it's a view. I'm heading over there. Coming from that way, going that way, still just a cool, damp morning. Coming from that way, it's 10:15, and the highway's right over there. I think I'm going to try to hitch into town. I won't spend a lot of time video-wise on town, but I'll hopefully be able to tell you everything that happened and my rationale for wanting to go to town. Took me about 20 minutes to get a ride, and it's not raining on me yet. I'm gonna go get a fountain Diet Coke and then make my plans for while I'm in town. Well, I've got my planning done. It is getting cold down here. Got about a mile walk to where I'm gonna stay. This town does not have a Motel 6. Stopped by the grocery store. At gas station didn't have fountain Diet Coke. They didn't have any Coke products at all. So I'll stop by the grocery store, go to the hotel. The young man that I talked to said they had rooms open, no problem, could get me in as soon as I show up. So I'm gonna walk through the Government Camp metro area and go get warm, dry, take a hot shower, all that kind of stuff. I know I can't get dry and take a shower, but you know. Fellow's having car trouble and stopped to offer any help I could. Just so happens I used to have a Jeep of a similar year and was able to recognize that, hey, yeah, you got pieces missing. So here's the room. This is the Best Western. It's a little pricey. Wouldn't be so bad if I had somebody else here with me. And it's got a couple other things going for it for the price. I'm not going to spend too much time harping on it. Hopefully, pretty soon the video will pick up with me getting back on trail. Rested, healed. They had a very good breakfast out here, including cheese omelets and sausage and potatoes and gravy. And they were really cool. Whenever I checked in, they're like, anything that's still out there, like the muffins and the fruit and everything like that, they're like, you can get that stuff anytime you want, but breakfast is 7 to 9. But yet they didn't put up like the proteins until like 10:30, 11. So it was pricey, but I enjoyed my stay, and now I'm waiting to catch my bus. It's a little bit before noon, about 15 minutes before the bus is supposed to come here. There's a bus that runs from Government Camp up to Timberline, and it actually runs all the way down to another town called Sandy. People say that if you're going to resupply, going ahead and taking the bus all the way to Sandy and hitting like the Dollar General better. But they also say that the schedule is more of a suggestion than a hard schedule, and it's starting to drizzle. So it's going to be a nice day. It's 52 degrees. It's supposed to get all the way up to 58. So I'm up at the Timberline Lodge. This is the day lodge. Gift club, or gift shop, food and drink. I'm ready to start getting on the trail. Timberline Lodge is where they shot like the outside shots for The Shining. It's claim to fame. So I'm on the PCT, coming from there. There's the Timberline Lodge. Gonna go under some ski lifts. And I'm already getting warm underneath the puffy coat. Darn the wind. And gonna be playing with layers. I think I'm gonna take off the puffy, put on the long sleeves. And at some point, I bet I'm putting on my poncho. Coming from that way. And I'm going to go down and up. And it got wet, so I went straight from the puffy to the poncho. Coming down from that way. See the cloud creeping up. I'm going to be going that way. Going down like that. Coming from over there. Like I said, you can see that cloud moving in. I'm feeling pretty good today. Heading that way. Looks like my legs are going to get wet. I think that's the Zigzag River. I'm coming down from up there and going this way. Trail's starting to get a little bit slick. coming from that way. In that 2-mile uphill, parts of it are pretty steep, and some of them are not. And do you know why Snoop Dogg carries an umbrella? For drizzle. And from there, I'm pretty sure I'm going that way. I'm going to double check, and then I won't be videoing anything because I'll be watching real close to make sure I'm on the path. Came down from up there, and now I'm going to go up that way. Coming from there, and it's 3 o'clock. In the next 3.5 or 4 miles, I'm going to make camp. Hopefully, I'll get down out of this cloud going that way. Because I think I'm going to drop down like 2,100 foot in that space. So, the reason I say 3.5 or 4, there's been a lot of weekenders and section hikers out. So, if the first one I come to in 3.5 miles is full, I'll go to 4. If it's not, I'll set up there, get water, make something hot to eat. Coming from up there, and the sky's starting to lighten up. And I have passed a whole bunch of people. Didn't ask them through hikers, section hikers, or what, but trail's just getting crowded today. This is a very popular area. Which means I might be making camp earlier than usual, just because if I see a good spot, I want to get it. If it's get a good pitch. That way tomorrow my tent's going to be wet, but hopefully the rest of my gear isn't. So I just came down from there. I'm about a 1/4 mile from where I had initially planned to camp. Trail keeps going that way. But in the comments on my hiking app, Johnny Appleseed, who I trust, and some other hikers said that's going to be real full with the weekenders and section hikers. And that this site was off trail and recommended going here. And since it's so early, I'll find a nice flat spot, put my tent down, and then even if I have to walk a little ways for water, I've got time. And it seems to have stopped raining right now, which is good. It did start to rain just a little bit as I was getting set up, but I got my bag in there. Everything is dry. Scouting out around, there's lots of tent sites around, but I had passed like 11 hikers. Campsite is up there, and I did find a trail leading down. Another lazy tree.